All right, guys, welcome back to the Manning Up on Real Estate podcast. I am super excited for you guys to hear from my guest today. Now, the guest that I'm bringing on, I've been listening. I've been in his sphere now for probably about three and a half years. And every single time I get a chance to see my guest, I just get lit up with excitement. I know that he's going to bring that for you guys today. Quick background. I'm going to have Pauly Domenech here. He is a mindset and performance coach with Glover U, and he's based out of Destin, Florida. He spent the last years as a top producing agent, averaging over 100 transactions a year and more than $1 million in GCI. This guy is not only going to bring the heat when it comes to mindset for you guys, he's also going to bring those tactics built into it as well, because I know that it's just as a coach, he's going to bring that forward for you guys. But not only that, what really sets him apart out there, and we're going to talk about this a little bit, he's also a professional fighter. He's gone 5-0. He's a world and American champion in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and he is an Ironman. This guy does it all, but more than that, more than anything that he's built so far, he's a father. And I know that's one of the most important things for Pauly out there. So let's bring him on the podcast. Pauly, welcome to the Manning Up on Real Estate podcast, brother.
Thank you so much for having me.
Pauly, let's kind of dive into it. And I kind of want to take it back for people who don't really know you. Tell us a little bit about you and how you've gotten to this point in your life. Tell us the backstory. What is the origin story of Pauly Domenech?
You know, the origin story was just being the underdog, like at all times, right? And having nobody there to fight for me. And so as I was growing up, I was, scrawny. I wasn't not necessarily anything special when it came down to sports. And as I was growing up, I just kind of got beat up a bunch. And as that was happening, I started to develop this chip on my shoulder. Right? And that chip on my shoulder created that drive. Sometimes a chip on the shoulder is okay, right? It's okay to have a chip on your shoulder because that's the inspirational part. That's the thing that makes you go, you know what? I'm going to make sure these people see this underdog turn into a wolf because it's going to happen, right? But eventually what happens is when you have that kind of energy and that's what you're putting out there, people will receive that. And it's not aligned with the servant leadership that we all should have that truly helps us grow. So the chip on your shoulder helps you get through the tough part, but you turn that around from, I'm going to show them who I am to I'm going to prove all the people that believe in me right. And that shift kind of happened for me. And that's how I got into coaching. That's how I turned into, the accolades that you're saying. It really was, there's always somebody rooting for you, whether you think there are or there isn't. There's always somebody rooting for you. Shoot, I don't even know you. And if you're in a space right now that you're not, I'm rooting for you. Like I am truly rooting for you, right? And so we have to realize that there's always somebody that we have to prove right because that person believes in us. And if we just give up, like we're going to be letting that person down. And so that was a lot of my drive. So even when I won the championships and the Ironman and championships, I was winning for my teammates. The Ironman, I was doing it to show my son an example of resilience and professionalism because you can't just jump into a scrimmage and do an Ironman. It's not a thing, right? And the same jiu-jitsu, I was in it and I was doing it for my teammates. So when I found that why and that inspiration to do it for those that believed in myself, now that became true power and a mindset that cannot be broken. Because when you're doing it for yourself, sometimes you get self-loathing and you self-doubt and all that stuff. But when you turn that around and you know how to flip the switch to be like, you know what, it's bigger than me. It's bigger than me because if I can do this, I can inspire somebody else to grow and push through it. See, they're not called triamonies, right? Like it's not they're called testimonies. Yeah. They're called tests for a reason, right? Because there has to be a test. And when you're feeling like you're being tested, it is given to you so that you can get through it to be a testimony to other people. So no matter what you're going through, if you're in this podcast, you're going through something right now, understand that is a test. It is your test to take so that it can be a testimony to inspire other people and reach your greatness. It's the way it is.
So here's the thing. As you guys are listening to this, first of all, I'm just going to say this. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, this podcast, stand up, because I'm already feeling the need to like just jump up, be like, yeah, right? Like he's like, this is what I'm talking about when it comes to Pauly, and this is why I'm excited to have you. He's already bringing that heat. If you guys are driving and listening to this podcast, please drive responsibly. Get excited and jump out of your car when you're parked, because I'm already getting excited. But here's what I'm talking about with Pauly. Like, you can already see, like, he's already coming into that coach and coming into that mindset, which is fantastic. And I love what you said, like the test for the testimony. Like, I've never actually heard it that way. And so this, like, Pauly's going to reshape how you start to think about different things. And here's one of the things I wanted to bring up in this podcast. I'm going to get it like started right away. Like, motivation is a fleeting thing for most people. And in one of your most recent Mindset Mondays, you talked about this and how real motivation really comes down to someone's character and identity. And I would love, like, you have clearly, I don't want to say mastered, because I know everyone's always working. There's always room for improvement. And yet you're someone who's been working on this for the long time now. And probably some of this mastery and discipline and character came from you becoming a world champion and you doing jujitsu, because a lot of discipline is built into that. But I want you to talk a little bit about that. How did you master the discipline so you can stay motivated?
So really, it's not about mastering discipline, right? It's about mastering the moment. That is the biggest thing. The misconception of discipline, when people hear it, is this long period, drawn out aim and time. And it's really not. It's actually the moment that you have to make a decision to or to not. Right? Have you ever been in a situation where you just don't want to wake up in the morning and you don't want to go to the gym, but then there's one morning where you actually wake up and you go to the gym, and next thing you know, you're like, yeah,
let's get it done.
about it, right? And when your feet hit the ground and you're going, it's you kind of forget about the bed. Within 5 minutes, you've forgotten how comfortable. I always say, don't let the sneaky sheets get you. The sneaky sheets. Don't let the sneaky sheets get you, right? Don't let the sneaky sheets get you, because they're lying to you. It's not what you want. It's not what you need. You already made the commitment. When you make the commitment before you go to bed that I am going to do X, Y, Z at this time. Look, if you're hitting the snooze button, just set your alarm for earlier. It is a terrible habit. If you're not waking up at 4 a.m. and you're hitting the snooze button until 4:15, set your alarm for 4:15 and just get out of bed, right? Make the commitment. And so discipline is really only having the strength in the moment. I've mastered understanding what that moment is. I understand by identifying that moment. That is a test moment. That is a test moment. And when you have a test moment, it is the most important time to double down and get it done. The most important time. So once you identify what it is, you can't get away from it. See, you can only be a victim once. After that, it's a choice. So once you hit the snooze once, you're like, I wasn't ready for it. Like, okay, I hit the snooze, but all right. Okay, cool. You got it. You got it. You identified. Do you identify that that was a test moment? Yep. I was supposed to get up. Okay. Now, tomorrow, when you decide to get up at 4 o'clock, now you are making a choice to take yourself off the path of greatness, which is put in front of you. Look, we're all given dreams. For me, dreams and goals are predictions of our future. If we could see it, they say, there's that one saying, if you could see it, you can achieve it. Like, okay, I get it. Yes, Here's what that is, though. It's like, whoa, I can see a lot of stuff. Well, you know what? If you could see yourself on that path, here's how you can achieve it, and here's how you cannot achieve it. You achieve it by doing every single thing that you are supposed to do until you get there. If you choose to hit the snooze button, you know what? You're making a decision to not meet the life that you have to be living in order to reach your goal, because you decided to go off track by hitting snooze when your life started at 4 o'clock, but you wanted to start at 4:15.
Right. Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's not your plan. It's God's plan. That's why it is in your mind. That's why he gives you the dreams. That's why he gives you the goals. But a lot of people don't reach their goals and their dreams because we don't want to do what is necessary to reach those goals. And sometimes we think, well, I could do it this way, but that's the easy way. And easy doesn't ever get rewarded. It is the short-term pain for the long-term gain. And when you identify that, you stay on track. Just know that that's what it is. Identify it, and then you get to choose whether to be great or not. And if you're choosing not to be great, then be okay with where you're at. Because if you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to keep getting what you get.
I got chilled already. Again, this is what we're bringing with Pauly, like the energy, the heat, everything. And what I love what you just said. I want to talk about setting that alarm, because you've had this conversation with us before, and the sneaky sheets. Like every time I'm about to get up, I'm like, I'd like to just stay a little longer. I got Pauly in my head. I'm like, fuck, okay, let's get up and let's get shit done, right? So absolutely. Now,
Yes.
one of the things that you've talked about before, and goes back to the alarm, why people do this. Like they know they're going to get up at 4:15, so they set their alarm for 4 o'clock so that they can have that snooze moment versus just setting it for 4:15. Why is it that you believe people do that mentality of like, let's set it a little early so I have the opportunity to hit the snooze button?
I just think people at that point in time, they're just not confident in, like, it's, I feel like that's a good question, because I've thought about this, right? And I want to say people don't believe that they can actually get up at 4 o'clock. Like they're already it's like sabotaging yourself. Like it's self-sabotage is what it is. So they're used to just, you know what, that's going to be difficult. It's going to be hard. So you know what, I need to have a plan B, because it's probably not going to happen, but I want it to happen, but it's probably not going to happen. And so their want is really honestly like
Right.
a wish. It's like, because you don't really want it that bad. Because if you wanted it that bad, then you would just be getting up.
100%.
Right? So it's this self-sabotaging to make it okay.
Yeah.
To make it okay. Well, you know what? I did set myself up for an extra 15 minutes. So it's okay that I don't want to get up right now. But here's the thing. It's going to be uncomfortable no matter what. You think you're catching some extra sleep in that 15 minutes? No, you're just thinking about when is the snooze button going to go off again, right?
You're just lying there and you're just like, button. Okay, and there it is.
Oh, I got 2 more minutes. And then that 1 more minute till the snooze button goes off is like the most exhausting minute of the entire thing. And you're supposed to get extra sleep. You're thinking that you're going to be more energized in 15 minutes, but that 1 minute right before this is the most exhausting moment. It's because of the moment of action that you have to take in that discipline. And our mind just uses so much energy when we're cognitive about it. So the trick is to remove all friction. This is what I'm going to do. Mel Robbins said it best, right? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, up, I'm out.
Yeah.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, up, I'm out. If you give yourself 5 seconds, you will easily talk your way out of doing what you are supposed to be doing. But if you get in motion and just start, it is very hard to stop.
What are some tactics then? So let's say you're prone to the sneaky sheets. You're prone to hitting that snooze button. I've heard some tactics before, like, okay, make sure that if you use your phone is set off where you actually have to get your ass out of bed, go walk over to it just to hit the snooze button to go back to bed. You're not going to do it. You're already up. What are some tactics that you've talked with people that have had that structure of being, oh, I'll just hit the snooze button, and you're coaching them? What are you doing to help them with that? What are some strategies to help them slowly overcome it, or even fast overcome it? Whatever works for them.
So number one, what is your morning routine? What does the first 5 minutes look like when you wake up? And in that, get your ass to the mirror, get a toothbrush in your mouth, and say to yourself, I am awake. I am awake. I am awake. There's no option. Don't live in this in between, like, oh, I gotta wake up, and I gotta have my coffee, or I gotta before. Why are you telling yourself that? Again, self-sabotage. Why are you having the conversation with yourself that you are not awake? You need to have that conversation like, the day is started, I'm here, right? And the biggest asset that you can do is a nightly ritual, knowing your why. Why are you waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning? Why are you choosing to pick that time for your alarm to go off? And what are you immediately going to do to get yourself into action? Because if you don't need to be up at 4, why the hell are you up at 4? This isn't hashtag 4 a.m. Oh my God, you're such a savage. Like, no, like, get your sleep, get your rest. If you're going to bed at like 11 o'clock, and you're expecting to wake up at 4 o'clock, that's self-sabotage again, right? So the biggest asset and the biggest weapon that you can have in getting yourself out of the habit of that morning stink is setting yourself up the night before, knowing what you're doing and why you're doing it. So when you wake up, the first thing that goes into your mind is the why you are waking up at 4 o'clock, instead of thinking, man, you know what? Do I really have to wake up? Oh, you know what? I've already got my clothes out. Okay, let me just sit here and think about what I'm gonna wear. I can do this and I can do that, instead of getting up and putting it on, or getting up and looking in your closet. And we've all done it. Don't listen. You've dressed yourself while you've been in bed to take a couple extra seconds and minutes.
We've all done it.
We've all done it. All done it, right? So pick your clothes out the night before, so you're not even thinking about that. It's get up. You've got nothing else to think about but get up and let's go.
Okay, I want to dive into on that topic of what you just said, like preparing for the night before. I think it would be valuable, and I know you've shared it from the stage before. What does your night routine to get prepped for the morning look like? And then what does your morning routine look like? And I want this to, like, I want people when you're listening to this to keep this in mind, that you don't have to have Pauly's morning routine, but the key is to listen to the fact that he has a routine. And especially because you're selling 100 homes a year. That is not easy by any means if you don't have a dialed in routine. So Pauly, if you're open to sharing it, I would love to hear that night before, and what does that lead into for that morning routine. Bring us straight up till noon, because I want the production side of it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And so apologize for that. So here's how it works. Nothing good happens after 7:30. Yeah, honestly, nothing good happens after 7:30. Maybe some shows, right? Some popcorn, some maybe ice cream, right? But you should have already had dinner. Kids should already be situated, right? Like, nothing good happens after 7:30. So that's one of my rules, right? And it's not a matter of I go to bed early so that I can get the proper sleep that I need to recover and then attack tomorrow. And so that is what the 4 a.m. thing is. I'm by no means is it. I'm not struggling at 4 a.m. Actually, it's 3:45 that I'm getting up right now because I'm training again for another Ironman. But that's the time that I need in order to keep quiet, have my own time in the morning to do what I've got to do before the world starts. So I have to assess. Well, let me reverse engineer this. what time do I have to be in bed in order to execute what I have to do in the morning before my day starts? Because work is work. Listen, you've got a work schedule. This is the whatever you have the wad of the day, right? That's like CrossFit terms. Like it's like
Right.
the workout of the day. Well, you have the
Yep.
work
Yep.
of the day too. So the wad is a work of a day. Wad is the workout of the day, right? So I look at that and go, okay, if I'm in the office at 7:30 every day, what do I have to do before I get into the office? What time do I have to start that? And then what time do I have to be in bed in order to get my 8 hours of sleep that I need, so that I know it is not a matter of me being tired. It's a matter of me being a little that I don't want to wake up. That's it. Right? It can't be, well, I didn't get much sleep. Or it can't be all that. So whatever I'm telling myself at that point is just an excuse. It's a
Mhm.
victim
And
mentality.
I think that's key too, is
So
the fact that you
don't
reverse engineered that, because when people hear 4 a.m. club, they're still thinking in their mind, well, I don't go to bed till like midnight half the time, right? And so they go, I can't do that because my normal bedtime is 11:30, midnight, depends on my doom scrolling and everything else like that. So you've taken the conscious effort that when you're figuring out your morning routine, you have to you got to get that. People need sleep, so you still get that 8 hours in. So I love that you talked about that, because I think that's the disconnect most people have with getting up early, is they don't figure out when they need to be in bed by.
right. And so then we have these other things, and you mentioned it, right? I've gone and said, okay, I get this all the time. Well, there's no way I could go to bed at 11. I mean, at 7:30 or 8 o'clock. There's no way. There's no way. I got so much to go. Okay, well, let me ask you this. Like, what do you have going on? Well, I got to get the kids ready, and obviously I'm cooking dinner, and then I'm picking them up, and I'm doing it. Okay, get all of that. Big rocks. Put it
Mm-hmm.
down on paper. Write down all the necessities that you need to do. Then what I want you to do is write down all the little things that you do in between. The doom scrolling, the need to go to the grocery store because you didn't get the food, all of these things that you could prep yourself for in a Sunday night
Mm-hmm.
ritual, that you can make sure that you have all the things necessary so that you do have a very easy transition to that 8 o'clock. You have to subtract. This is not about adding more to it, right? This isn't about adding 8 p.m. to your schedule to go to sleep. No, it's about subtracting all the things that keep you up past 8 p.m. throughout
Mm-hmm.
your day that's getting wasted. Now you've got to catch it up past 8 p.m. to be able to do it. And so that's what's keeping you up at 11
Right.
p.m. Because I have my son. I cook for my son. I pick up my son from school. I'm at every single game. I'm at every single practice. I'm doing all that. But what I'm not caught into doing is I do not consume social media. I do not consume conversations that don't move the needle forward. And if I'm having a conversation about something, I'm having a conversation where I need to be at, that is going to make the biggest impact for what? My faith, my life, my future, my family, my focus, my finance. That is where I'm at, and I will have that conversation there. But at 8 o'clock, once it comes, nothing needs to happen
Right.
after.
So and that's dialed in then, because again, it comes back to having that, I would say, discipline in a fashion that you have built that character, you've built your dream, you built your why. Everything stems from making sure that you have dialed that in, so you know exactly what you need to do to continue to push that needle forward. Exactly like you said. So you're in bed. Let's talk about that morning routine, like and let's bring it into the production side, because I want this now to be semi-tactical as well. Because people here, you can get all motivated, you can get excited, but at the same time, we need to hear something that, like, okay, maybe I can implement that into my own life, that level of, when do I do this, when do I do that, like, bring us into that morning schedule now.
Yeah, so now when I wake up in the morning, it all depends on if I have a heavy heavy load for my workout. So it could be either a 2 hour run or a 3 hour bike ride or a long swim. So I will adjust accordingly to that. So I wake up anytime between 3:45 and about 4:15. Once I do wake up, I've got 5 minutes where I have done my duty. I have done what I gotta do. I'm brushing my teeth. I'm in the mirror. I'm getting myself together.
Yeah.
I'm awake. Then I have all of my workout clothes the night before already laid out. Everything is laid out. I'm not giving my mind one thought, not one thought. I'm not using any energy. The other reason, the other thing that I do, and the strategy behind prepping is protecting your energy. And we talked about this in our mindset, right? What is the source of your energy and protecting it? What is the source that is draining your energy? And making sure that you're protecting it. Having to go and pick out clothes, or having to realize that your workout stuff is in a hamper and it's dirty, and then you're thinking like that. I go to the extent of prepping myself the night before to where I would be disappointed if I actually didn't take the action. And one of those things is I untie my running shoes. My running shoes are untied and open. So when I put my socks on, my running shoes, my feet slip right in. I don't have to mess with a knot. I don't have to untie a knot, right? My playlist is all ready to go. So as soon as I put my headphones on, I literally press play and I'm going. The day has already started. And so once I get through my workout, I come home. I wear the exact same thing every day, unless I'm going on an appointment. But it is a black polo, Lululemon, black pants, Lululemon, no bull, black shoes, sneakers with dress shoes. So it is very professional, but it is all rolled up in a ball in a drawer. So as soon as I go I take a shower, I have a towel rack in my shower that has 5 towels. So when I use the second to last one at night, I know to go and refill those. So I am not looking for a towel when I am actually getting out of the shower. So, yeah, turn that off. So these are the things that sorry about that. These are the things that setting myself up for the night before. So now when I go into my morning routine and I'm getting up, I'm doing all that, same thing prep with work. I now have my work clothes, my things, everything is squared away. I get in my car, I drop my son off. Normally I work out if he's with me. I have a treadmill, I do my workout indoors, or I have my bike. But I'm cooking breakfast every single morning for him at this specific time. And then I get into the office at 7:30, no matter what. 7:30 to 8 o'clock is just private, quiet time. Kind of seeing what I'm going to do. What did I do the night before? What did I not do? What did I not do that I said I was going to do? And then I give a little reflection. Like, okay, well, am I the person that would do this and I let it ride? Like, I procrastinated and I give myself a little bit of a pep talk. Like, okay, you bum. Like, whoa, this is not right. You can't leave for tomorrow what you can do today, because again, that is getting in the way of the opportunity that you have today. So I focus on those things, and then at 8 o'clock I start my ritual, which would be I call 5 people. I like about 50 posts. I comment on 10 posts. I then DM about 5 people. Then I go into my reviews. I look at all the contracts that it might have closed. I check on my reviews. I call my people. I get in contact with them again. So it's five calls, 5 reviews, the 50 likes, 10, 5. And then I just, at that point in time, I just start my day. And if it's going to be going through my farm, or if it's going to be going through some of the leads that I called, and I go through my brevity and all of my database to try to set an appointment. And I always wait until going on appointments until 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock is when I do all of my appointment stuff. Right before like around 10:30, I'll start to do admin stuff. I'll start to do admin stuff and catch up on all my admin stuff. So from that point, from 10:30 to 1 o'clock, I'll do all my admin, and then hopefully I'll have an appointment. If I don't have an appointment, I go back into looking at all the data that's going on with my sphere, all the listings that I have, and I start reaching out and connecting to my people, because I do have approximately, let's see, let me be, I have 32
Wow.
listings. So we have 32 listings, and these are not listings that are now sitting on the market for a long time. These are listings that are within the 90-day period. So I did get caught in that, where I got productive and I didn't have a system. So it was one of the reflections there. I'm sitting there at like 3 at 7:30 going like, oh my gosh, I am not asking for
Yeah.
price reductions on all of these, and I got caught behind the buck when the market changed. So what I decided to do was shift my mindset and say, okay, I haven't. Well, if I haven't asked for price reductions and things aren't selling, what are they doing? They're not making me any money. So I did a hire or fire. I called
Yeah.
every single one of them, and I said, listen, this is where we're at. I apologize. We didn't drop it fast enough. This is the plan that we have. This is the price that you need to be at. You can hire me or fire me, and we are going to extend the contract at this new price. Everybody hired me again, except for like I think one person was like, no, but they had no motivation to sell anyway, right? You can't
No,
make them all
absolutely
happy.
not.
And I wasn't. It was, you either drop the price or I'm firing you. So honestly, to tell you the truth, I think I fired that person. I don't think they really
Well,
fired
I
me. I
think
fired
I,
that
I want
person.
I want to
But
I want to
we
just kind of
went.
expand on that. And I remember you had this discussion with us about how you went through that audit, and we brought that to our team too. And we said, okay, every single listing, if it's been more for us, we do 21 days max. Like if it's 21 days or max, we're having that conversation with our team, saying, when have you had that conversation? If it's not dropped, at least you have to have had the conversation. If you don't have the conversation, it's on you for not doing it. It's not your clients. It's on you for not having that conversation. And the fact that you went in saying, listen, I'm either losing the listing or I'm getting that price reduction so it can sell, that is in most people would consider a bold move, a bold thought process. Because I literally, I'm going to share a quick story. I was in a conversation with an agent who has a listing. Now, this listing's been on the market for like 160 something days, and they had one small price reduction, but it's significantly overpriced on the market. Like we analyzed it, there's multiple comps showing that it doesn't make sense. So my client sent in a lower offer, right? And it was it's not like we're throwing it in just to piss people off. It was justified. And here was the interesting conversation. When I got called and I got lectured by the agent not to waste people's time with low offers, even though I said, like, here, there's 7 comps supporting our price. We're not giving you a low offer. We're giving you an offer that matches the market. As the conversation progressed, she goes, well, the reason why I don't want to take these low offers to my client is because they'll fire me. And I said to her, well, let me ask you a question. You've been on the market for 160 something days now. Wouldn't it just make sense just to let this listing go, because you are wasting your time and effort? And if they're not going to be realistic on their pricing, it doesn't make any sense for you to have this listing when you could put that same time doing open houses, calls with the client, receiving offers to a client that's actually priced well and motivated. Like, it makes no sense to me.
One of the things that I always tell people is like, get the know to know, get the know
Mm-hmm.
so that you know, right? Because by the time you convince somebody to work with you, or you've got that kind of energy, and you've got the amount of energy that you have to spend in that, you can actually use that same energy to work with 3 other people that actually
100%.
get it. So sometimes you just gotta let it go. But what happens is, it makes people feel like they're productive. And when they don't want to do something, they go, well, at least I
Yeah.
got this. And it's like, really? You got nothing. I mean, my assistant, we went from, when I did the hire to fire, we went from $400,000 in GCI in July to $4.3 million closing in July. That's how much we had. But what she did say was she was celebrating, and I was like, "You okay? Great. You're celebrating that we have a contract, but it ain't
Yeah,
closed yet. We don't celebrate until it's closed because the work is not over. So until that thing gets across the finish line. So if you don't have even under contract, there is nothing to celebrate about. You're just wasting so much energy that you can pour into doing other things. And also think about this: the longer that that thing stays on the market, what's happening to your confidence in what you're doing?
exactly.
It starts to diminish. And sometimes it's just that thing you need to
Hmm.
cut off so that you could save yourself, so that you could realize, I've got
Yeah.
nothing now. Okay. Nothing starting. Sometimes the end
Yep.
is the beginning. So end it so that you could start over again, because the past does not define you. What you do now and tomorrow will. Stop being a product of your past. Stop it. We're not prisoners of our past. We are products of our future. So let it go and change.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's amazing to me too, and I'm sure you see this in the industry all the time. They feel like they're productive and they're using it as, oh, I got 25 listings. You got 25 people that are just wasting your time right now because you haven't had the conversation with them about dropping the price, and you're acting like you're this big agent, but when you don't have money in the bank because they're not selling, you are not a big agent. You are a note taker, you are a yes man, you are not an advisor, and you're not an agent at that point.
Yeah, that really honestly is that
Hmm.
imposter syndrome. And that's really where I think that people have problems with
Yeah,
their mindset, right? It's almost it's that self-sabotage. You're doing it to
absolutely.
yourself. And and for me, all I do is hold up a mirror. I do exactly what I do for others, and I try to do for others what I do for myself, and that is I hold a mirror up to myself, because I don't have the right to
Hmm.
lead anybody until I can lead the man in the mirror
100%.
first. So the question I want to ask your audience is, are you leading the person in the mirror first before you choose to lead anybody else? Because you have no right to lead anybody else behind that mirror until you do.
Guys, if you just pause this, rewind it by about 30 seconds, and listen to that again, because I think that is probably going to be the most pivotal part of this whole conversation, that until you learn to lead yourself, you can't lead others. And in any business, whether you're a realtor listening to this, you're an investor, you're a mortgage broker, you're any sort of business person listening to this podcast, that is going to be the key differentiator. Understanding any sort of motivation, it starts with you, bar none. Until you get yourself dialed in, not everything else doesn't matter until you get you're right with yourself. And I love that you said that. Now, Pauly, I mean, I'm sure that people are just like shaking right now, because I know I've been smiling and I've been nodding along, and I've been in your sphere for a while now, and I want to know. You also went through something not too long ago. You shared it on stage, and for most people, it would have rocked them. Talk to me about what happened back. I think it was in September, if I remember correctly. That could have completely changed your life, but you also, with that strength of character that you have, you've taken this challenge and just absolutely risen significantly above it. Can take us through that, because I think that's really going to help a lot of people, because people go through accidents, people go through hardships, people go through situations that could literally be life or death, and the decision they make vastly changes what happens in their life.
Yeah, 100%. Well, first of all, you have to realize that the test is the testimony, right? That is something that I keep in front of my mind all the time. Whenever I'm feeling tested, or whenever I feel like I'm having a hard time, I realize this is God's blessing. This is God's gift, because it's not about woe is me. It's like, it's not poor me. It's poor everybody else when I get through this thing, because I'm gonna get
Yeah.
through it, right? I'm not gonna stop until I get through it. And so that's the number one thing. I understand that when the struggle comes,
Hmm.
it's a test. And he gives me that test because I can, whether I believe it or not, I can overcome it and I'm going to inspire others. And so what happened was when I was training for the Ironman, which was going to be my first one, I went through the
Mhm.
windshield of a car. I went through the back windshield of a car on my bike in a race going 21 miles an hour at 218 pounds. So the car didn't necessarily win. I think it was a draw. Right?
It took on someone who's has a black belt in jujitsu and
Yeah, was a draw. But what happened was I was in the race, and when it was a turnaround race, and so when I was going down, there were no cars, and when I was coming back, somehow a minivan had gotten through, a workers minivan had gotten through and parked in the bike lane, going in the direction that I was going in. I was looked up and I saw an individual that I wanted to catch in front of me, and we do these intervals, so it's 30 seconds on, 20 seconds off, 30 seconds on, 20 seconds off, 30 seconds on, 20 seconds off, and you go as hard as you can. And so in my third interval, I was counting and I was at about 20, and I had my head down and I was just going. Now, 21 miles an hour, right? So for 20 seconds at 21 miles an hour, you are covering a good distance, because I always get like, how did you not see it? Here's what I saw. I saw the person in front of me for my last interval. I am literally practically dying on this bike, and I'm willing to die on this bike, apparently, but I'm willing to catch this guy. And so I put my head down, and all I focused on was stay in between the lines, and you do not lift your head up until you see his rear wheel. And when I got to 19, 20,
bang.
that was it. I didn't, it wasn't painful. It wasn't, it was just, all of a sudden, I'm off my bike, standing in the road, kind of looking around. What was that? And I realized when I looked up, I shattered the back window of a minivan. Now, for a second, I'm just kind of wondering what's going on. Okay, am I all right? I look down and I see blood running from my shoes. Like blood was running over my shoes. I had white shoes. So I looked at my arm and I saw, okay, I've got some lacerations on my arm. Next thing, obviously, like my face, I was like, all right, I got laceration on my face. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. I got the Ironman in 58 days. I've been training so hard for this. There's no way. So now I'm pumped. I'm like, no, oh my gosh. I turn around, and the guys whose minivan it was looked at me and just went, whoa. And then I touched my chest, and I literally could feel my chest flayed open, and I was able to touch my chest plate. And so I zipped up my suit and I just sat there for about 20 minutes. Sat there for about 20 minutes, and because it was this thin course, it was the back road, right, and it was one way in and out, and so the ambulance was way down there. There was about 1,000 people in this race, so they had to navigate through all of that, and I was more towards the other end. So they finally get to me, and the funny story was, I'm standing there, and the guy goes, all right, let me see what you got going on. Okay, I see this. Okay, the laceration, I see your face. Cool. Is there anywhere else? And I said to him, look, I'm about to show you something, but I don't want you to freak out or react. Like, even if it's bad, I just want you to give me a nod and then say, yeah, we got this. Okay. And he was like, all right. And when I pulled it down, there was a young fireman that was sitting there, and he went, life flight? And I went, life flight? It's taking you 20 minutes to get here. I'd be dead if it was life flight. No. So he was like, okay. On a scale from 1 to 10, what, how much pain are you in? And I'm like, honestly, dude, I got an Ironman coming up. I'm more pissed than I'm like a 5. He looked at me and said, buddy, listen, I see your face. You're one tough son of a bitch. He's like, somebody else's 12. Don't worry about it. We're going to hit you up with some of this fentanyl. We're going to get you going, and we're going to get you to the hospital. I said, okay. They hit me up with fentanyl, send me off to the hospital. I get to the hospital. we're doing the test, and I keep telling the doctor, I got this Ironman coming up. And she's like, no, listen, we've got to like do these tests. And so I sat back and I started thinking. I was in the emergency room. They realized, okay, he's not bleeding out. Other people are coming in. We had done the tests. He's okay. So they had me sitting in this room for about 7 hours with just open. And there's a documentary on my on my Instagram. If you click on my pop
what we'll
story,
do
see
what we'll
that.
do as well, guys, is
Grab-
in the show notes, I'm gonna link that documentary into the notes below. So if you're watching this on YouTube, just check out that link below, look for Pauly's documentary, and same if you're listening on Spotify or Apple, it'll be in the show notes as well. So you guys definitely go check it out.
Yeah, so I'm sitting in the hospital. We've got that picture there. I'm filleted open. And I just start thinking, and I'm like, why am I doing this? Right? I'm 50 years old this year. I'm turning 50 years old. At that point in time, I was 48, and I'm going, I'm 48 years old. I've already done this jujitsu black belt thing. Now I'm trying to do this Ironman thing. What? I've never done a triathlon. I've never run a marathon. I've never swam more than, I don't know, like around a boat. I didn't own a bike when I decided to do this. My boy Alex Vidal, props to Alex Vidal. He is the ERA president right now for the organization. He was the one that inspired me to do it. But I just sit back and I go, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? And I got really frustrated with myself because here I am hurt now, right? Like I got these gashes and my son, I didn't want my son to see me. So I was just like, man, what am I doing for this is so selfish. And so I just kind of dropped back. When I dropped back, about 30 minutes passed, took a nap, and I woke up and the answer was given to me. Because I was asking, I was talking to God, I was talking to my higher power, I was talking, asking, why am I doing this? And the answer came to me, and the answer was because you can. Because you can. And if you can, you must. I gave you the ability to. I gave you the time to. I gave you the environment to. I gave you the structure to. I gave you the support to. I gave it to you. That's why you must do it. At that point in time, I committed and said, you know what? You're right. Because there's people that don't have the time. There might be people that aren't financially, able to. People that can't walk. People that can't travel. And so if I can do this, and it's in my dream, and I thought of it, he put that in me to do it. Because I can. So if I can, I must. How many times have we decided not to do something when we could do something?
Absolutely.
When we could spend time with family, right? When we could have quiet time and talk to our God. When we could save some money for our finance. When we could do something that's going to maybe be a short-term pain for a long-term gain. How many times have we decided not to or procrastinate to do something when we absolutely 100% can do it? And we just make these excuses. Well, I'm going to tell you something. If you're doing that, that's okay, because today you can change that and you can realize that your environment is built not for it to be easy, but built for you to grow into the greatest version of yourself. And if you can, because you have the resources, if you can, because you have the network, if you can, because you have the ability to, I'm not going to say that it's going to be easy, but it simply can be done, then you must, because it's what is necessary in order for you to reach your goals and also your greatness. That is what it is. So if you can, ask yourself, can you get up without hitting the snooze button at 4 o'clock in the morning? And if you can, you must, if you want to reach your goals and the greatest version of yourself. If not, then you are the one that is in the way, nothing else.
Every time, like, dude, the guys, this is exactly so. sometimes I don't even know how to put it into words listening to Pauly, because like I'm excited right now listening, and I've heard this story now a couple of times, and to me it's I watch these people who've gone through rough times in their life. They've had accidents, and you've got those two choices. You either give up or you keep pushing forward and keep moving towards it. How many Ironmans have you now done since you went through that accident? Because again, they talked about hold up, even though you said, man, I got an Ironman to run. How many have you now completed? There you go.
3. And so I had 28 days.
Yep.
I recovered, and then I had 30 days to the Ironman. And I ended up doing it an hour faster than what I had my goal set. Because the beautiful part of the struggle was I didn't die then, and I'm not going to die now. So push it, because this is part of your story. See, when you get through something like that, it gives you permission to push even harder, because you make it worth it. You only get one shot, one opportunity. Opportunity is only available in the lifetime of the opportunity. And when you go through something and you keep pushing through, think about how amazing it's going to be when you accomplish whatever it is that you set out to accomplish with that circumstance or with that situation that happened in between. That makes it even more bold. Like, the crazy part was we were filming the documentary just basically on watch this guy become an Ironman with his kid and the transactions and what it's still doing, watch him train for this. And then I went through a windshield, like even better, right? Like even better. So when you have those moments of like just you're feeling like you're losing, understand you're not losing. You're becoming prepared for the greater blessing on the other side. It's preparation. It's preparation. That is really what is happening to you, because it's not a matter of us not getting what we deserve. Sometimes we want something before we should get, right? We have this impatience. And here's the thing, if it was given to you right now, you might not be prepared to live into the fullest of the blessing that it is meant to be. So it's not that it is not for you. It's just not for you right now. Keep moving, because when you keep moving and you get through that, when it's given to you, then, oh my gosh, you're so prepared for it. And it's an even greater blessing at the end.
Phenomenal. All right. I really respect you, obviously. I mean, we've become good friends over the years, and I love running into, like, guys, whenever you see Pauly at a Glover U conference or anything like that, the first thing he does is gives you the biggest, like right now, that biggest smile. And then he embraces you like you're a brother, a long lost brother. And that's like, Pauly is one of the most, I would say, genuine, down to earth people I've ever had the opportunity, had the privilege to meet. And I'm so blessed to have you here on my podcast today. I'm really honored that you took time out of your day to pour into this audience the way that you pour into all of us. I have just two more quick things, because I do respect your time as well. You were a top agent, you were an athlete, and you're a father, and your time is also valuable. So the last thing I want to just quickly, if you've listened all the way through this and you're still, on the fence mentally, and you're like, but it's been such a tough year. It's been so hard. Sales are down. I've never sold so little. I want you to speak to that agent. What's that one final piece of advice, inspiration, motivation that you can give to that person who still, after listening to all this, has that in their mind?
You're not alone. It's not you. It just is. And so what we have to realize is that success doesn't come to the smartest. It doesn't come from the fastest. It doesn't come from the person that is in the right place at the right time. It comes from being adaptable, right? And so we must be adaptable. If it's not working for you right now, you must adapt for what it is. The sooner that you adapt, the sooner you're going to put yourself in a place to actually succeed. And consistency is the mother of
100%.
success. Consistency is the mother of success. Do not get quiet, because if they don't know you exist, you are not an option. A lot of agents are getting quiet right now. Do not get quiet. Keep doing what you're doing. Plug into a system that works. We plug into Glover U. I love them. The reason why I plug into Glover U is because the system works for me. And when the system works and they give you something that you can easily plug into and you know it works, then progress will happen. You just stay in the game. Be the underdog that turns into a wolf. If you know you're doing what you need to do and you are consistent about it, it is going to happen. Know the story that you are telling yourself.
Love it.
Right? Identify the story that you are telling yourself and understand it ain't over until you say it's over.
That's it. Love it. And at the end of the day, you'll notice in the background there, join the shark side. He's got the shark there. I mean, one of my favorite things that you say is like, why go swimming with goldfish when you can swim with the sharks? Right. I mean, Pauly just brings that out of you. You can be aggressive, go out and do it, but you can do it in a kind and meaningful way as well. And that's the one thing that I always resonate. Pauly, you've got a saying that you end off almost every conversation with, and I want you, I'm going to want you to say this, but before you do that, firstly, I just want to say, if you guys are enjoying this podcast, guys, go check out gloveru.com, look at the coaching sessions, and for $99 a month, you can get this. And this is not a plug, and this is not sponsored by Glover U in any way. I go on these calls every single Monday, and you can get this motivation from Pauly. So go check it out. Pauly, before I have you sign it off, how you traditionally sign off, and I'm excited for people to hear this, where else can they find you?
You can find me on Pauly Domenech on Instagram. It's pauly.com as well. And then you can find all of my videos and everything that we do. If you go to Instagram and you hit the Pop Store link, that's where you'll find my documentaries, all my shorts, and all of those things. Because really, guys, it's authenticity is what you have to be. Authenticity is a beautiful thing, but most importantly, you have to be authentic with 100%. Yourself. You have to have that conversation with yourself, right? Don't try to be authentic. Don't try to be something that you're not. And also, don't have the same conversation everybody else is having. Have a different conversation. Have a different conversation with yourself, because rarely are you ever buried unless you choose to be. You're often planted. And the difference between a rut and a grave is when we stop digging it.
Love that. Now, guys, go check out Pauly. Pauly, thank you so much for joining me here today on the Manning Up on Real Estate podcast. I really hope you guys all enjoyed this, because I know I did. I mean, he's probably been watching me. I've been like smiling the whole time during this podcast. And this is the energy that every single Monday, people tell you Mondays suck, Mondays this, but you walk into a room and you turn on Pauly. For us, it's 8 a.m. So it's the perfect time to like kick our Monday off, kick our day off. You get that boost of energy from Pauly. I highly recommend checking that out. Check out his documentaries, links all below. Again, Pauly, I'm going to ask you, sign it off for me, my friend.
Please remember to be kind, remain savage, and change lives. Much love.
Thank you.
Later, guys.